This is going to be a difficult topic to talk about because it's a lot to take in, but I want to start off by saying I'm going to get straight to the point here. YouTube and gaming for me, I'm burnt out on it, man. I really am. I've tried taking a break for like a month and a half now, and I still feel burnt out after all this time, and I want to talk to you guys about the creative perspective from someone who's trying to make videos, yet I feel like I fail every single time I do make videos. Now, mind you, I think this burnout is probably because I've been consistent in trying to make videos for 3 to 4 years now, and the progress I've made has been really fucking slow. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I want instantaneous gratification. You know, a delayed gratification is better than an instant gratification, because if you work on something for so long and then you see the reward out of it, the reward lasts a lot longer most of the time whenever you worked on something for super long periods of time. But for me, it feels like this kind of, entertainment slash being a content creator has been kind of drowning me down into being just a particular content creator focused on one theme or one genre. I feel like YouTube is more of a business now and not a social media hub where you can talk with people or share things that are exciting or fun. Now it's about trying to get as much retention on a video as possible, but guess what? Time is money, and not everyone has got a chance to make people watch these amount of videos, especially for long form, and that's why YouTube is going with the short form content. But the issue with short form content is that it's really a dopamine drain and a half, because you're getting so much information that it's hard for you to really understand. I feel like YouTube is too big for its own good. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, it's difficult for me to talk about this and have some relevancy or maybe some background to really enhance or to provide evidence of my claims that it is this. But have you seen a lot of videos lately where a lot of people have talked about trying to make it into a business to earn money instead of trying to make something that you enjoy? It feels like it's becoming more of that as of lately, and especially with content creators who are really outputting videos left and right 24/7, uploading shorts every single day, uploading a video every once a week or maybe twice during the week, and it feels like it's drowning out a lot of people's attention span because there's so much videos getting outputted, because not only of people wanting to earn money and also make a business out of it, but also because people are using AI tools as well to make videos that could get a ton of fucking views or subscribers because of it. Hell, there's even been moments where as a content creator, let's say for example for streamers, there's been moments where I watch Nash, and for those who don't know, he is a content creator that focuses on the behind the scenes, the statistical side of things for streaming, and it seemed like a lot of people, there's this like clipping farm central kind of idea where people will over exaggerate a certain moment in their stream so they can quote unquote clip it to then post it up to their streaming platforms or their channels on whatever platform they're on to earn more revenue. Now, for me personally, that really dilutes the concept of social media as a whole, because the whole point of social media is the interactability and the consistent like talks or discussions or different cool things you want to talk about or different debates and discussions that are important for today's society. Because social hubs really were about understanding and learning and having a good time, exploring, or just enjoying yourself, entertaining yourself, something along those lines. But now it's about how many views am I going to get? How long I'm going to get these guys to retain watching these videos 24/7? How long is it going to take for this thumbnail to be identified as good until I need to make another second or third thumbnail to be like, okay, maybe we could test that out and see what people like. It feels like it's less creativity and more cookie cutter bullshit as of lately. Now, don't get me wrong, maybe I'm complaining from a old man's point of view. 26 years old is apparently old. I mean, my knees feel like they're old, but I digress. I think really my frustration comes from someone who's trying to be successful on YouTube, but I don't want to be about the money. Don't get me wrong, the money would be fan-fucking-tastic. I mean, have you seen the big content creators earning millions of dollars from just videos alone? I mean, who wouldn't want that? Especially in today's age with the economy having a shit show in the USA and politics. I'm trying to say here is that I am frustrated with social media not being social anymore. I mean, have you seen old YouTube? Have you seen it? Have you even played around with it? If you've been on the old YouTube, you know how drastically it's changed, right? I mean, back then you would have a social hub to be able to put different backgrounds and different colored highlights and annotations. Maybe there's be moments where you're able to upload a video that has a different style of thumbnail to it, sure, but like it wasn't as exaggerated. Well, some of them weren't as exaggerated, but I feel as though when it comes down to YouTube, and especially today's day and age, everything is over exaggerated. And a supervillain once said, if everyone became super, no one would be. Meaning that the normalcy of being abnormal, it has become a reality. You know, say for example, if I learned how to solve a Rubik's Cube really fast, and I was able to do it in like 5 seconds, but then everyone else started to do it in 5 seconds, that makes you not the abnormal or the unique one. Now you're the normal of that world. And I'm getting to the point here with YouTube that everyone has a cookie cutter like slice. And a lot of content creators, or especially professionals, have provided some advice saying that if it works, why try to bother and fix it? Which is why you see a lot of content creators kind of steal ideas from one another or try to put their own spin on it. I mean, the Mr. Beastification of it all. Have you seen content creators who have copied Mr. Beast videos and just basically word for word, bar for bar? It's fucking crazy. And that's the reality of YouTube, is that it's become much more of, hey, this person is famous, let me copy them. Now, mind you, I think a lot of old YouTube heads have left YouTube or has done something else aside from it because they know themselves it's not really doing too hot. Jacksepticeye is a great example. I used to follow him when I was younger, and I think that what he has to say is important, especially with how YouTube is nowadays. But I think my frustration also comes from not just the Mr. Beastification or the cookie cutter bullshit. I also think it comes from my own self-frustration that now I have to put myself in line in order for that to work. Now, what I found out, especially with the Kevin Nash video that I talked about earlier, was that a lot of streamers, man, they fake almost everything. Now, there are exceptions to the rule that don't fake anything. They're just kind of there to vibe out and have a good time, like Summit1G. The only time that I've seen him actually maybe fake something is just maybe his advertisements or sponsorships, but he's usually pretty real for his sponsorships and advertisements. But whenever you see like the people who are like maybe Extra Emily, for example, she's been a hot topic as of lately, or Aiden Ross is a really great example. Actually, let's not talk about Emily. Let's talk about Aiden Ross, for example. For those who don't know, he is the face of Kick, and he would usually have some sort of video about steak being labeled on his clips, and then he would pay people for those clips so that people can know who he is, so that more people can be drawn towards him. It's very clever advertisement without it being labeled as advertisement, but that's the issue, is that it's become more of a business, like I've said before, and that's the issue. Social media isn't about being social anymore. It's about companies or people trying to quote-unquote relate to you guys while reaping the benefits of the relatability. And that's why you see a lot of content creators maybe having some sort of relatability to a lot of people, to the masses, and that's why they're trying to not be as controversial, because guess what? There are moments where maybe I, as a content creator, want to talk about something that is intriguing or interesting, or having a discussion of it, but the issue I face is that anyone is willing to put hatred out there on the internet against you for even talking about something that's not even controversial. It's actually crazy, because that in and of itself seems like you don't want to be on the internet or on social media anymore because you have people like that existing. Now, don't get me wrong, they've always existed around the world. I mean, it makes fucking sense, but there's moments where I think to myself, man, I don't want to be on TikTok anymore, or I don't want to be on Reddit or any of these other social media platforms, because it's not a social media platform, it's a business platform with the facade of social media being there. Now, if there's something else I want to talk about too, and that's games, right? I'm burnt out on games. I think for me personally, I've been gaming ever since I was a wee little lad. You know, my dad would, sit me down while he would try to like babysit me and play Final Fantasy VII on his like PlayStation 1. And that's how I knew I was a gamer from the get-go, because he would like hand me the controller and maybe he would just kind of quote unquote teach me how to do certain things or how to play Final Fantasy VII. And then over time, I just grew up to be a gamer. I was born and raised as the gamer. I mean, my dad and my mom were both nerds. So it was like, that's just part of me, who I am. But the issue I face now is that I'm 26 years old. I've had 26 years of gaming in my entire life. And as of lately, I've never felt like I've actually been burnt out on games before. Now, maybe it's because of that amount of years I've been playing that finally I've been burnt out. But at the same time, the difficulty is it's mixed up with YouTube as well, that I want to make videos on games that I enjoy, but the issue is that with YouTube, you're kind of stuck into a niche until you grow big enough to get yourself out of that niche, And I think a lot of people usually would follow you for your personality, but I guarantee most of the time nowadays, YouTubers are not really there for the personality trait as much anymore, but they're much more about the business side of things. And I find it difficult to put my personality out there because not many people are going to go for personality anymore. They just want information and then they just move on. That's what I see for the most part anyways. There's moments where I follow content creators that I personally enjoy because I actually enjoy their content. I've been following small content creators since I was, on YouTube, and honestly, it's been a fantastic ride to just see them evolve, or if they stay where they're at and they just enjoy what they're doing. Aside from my own personal thing with YouTube, games in general, I feel like I've realized that I'm getting to that point in my age, and it sounds stupid. It should be like near 40 or 50 years old when I start having the nostalgic phase of gaming, but I feel like right now I enjoy playing older games than playing new ones. And I feel like maybe that's just because I was, born and grew up with these games, and I know like from the back of my hand. And I know there's a lot of good games out there nowadays, especially new games. I mean, Expedition 33, Ark Raiders, and a few others I can't think off the top of my head, but there are good games out there that are coming out this year, and they will continue on to come out no matter the circumstance, because games nowadays have been kind of intertwined with the pop culture of everything. But the issue I face is that with these new games, yeah, they're cool, yeah, they're great, but I feel like maybe I just have a disdain towards AI. And gamers using AI art or using AI code instead of using their own wit and skill to make those happen. I mean, a lot of games nowadays are having these placeholders and then replace them with actual art, which by all means, go right ahead. I mean, I'm not going to complain about that. But what I am going to complain about is it being kind of shoved down your throat now, especially with how some of the big companies like Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo are kind of going out of their way to make gaming more expensive and making it more difficult for players to actually enjoy or buy a console to play new games that are coming out on that hardware. And now, I mean, like they're making a new Xbox and PlayStation. I almost guarantee it. When's the last time the latest Xbox released? Like 3 to 4 years ago? I mean, it's kind of overdue for like a new console, but I feel like now it's like you have this moment where you think to yourself, yeah, these big AAA companies, they're really doing crappy for the AAA titles. So what's the point of looking at games? I mean, it's difficult to pick up these games that are like $70 that aren't worth shit or they're really buggy. And you see that a lot more, in my opinion, in comparison to games back then. It's not to say that there weren't terrible games back then. Trust me, there were terrible games back in the early 2000s to late 2010s. Trust me, that whole era of gaming, they had a lot of shitty games out there. But I don't find it to be about AI though, or, oh, it's an early access, that's why it's really crappy, and I have to pay full price now to get into the game in an early access title and wait 5 to 7 years for the early access title to become a 1.0 release. It's like, it's just, gaming is exhausting now. I mean, have you seen also a lot of games now just implement battle passes into their system? Like, I miss the old days where you would be able to earn skins, cosmetics, and stuff like that when new challenges arose. Instead of it being the basic, oh, get XP and you get this stuff, it used to be challenges that were fun or exciting. Hell, I even still am waiting for the achievement to get with Gary and Gmod. And that was like an achievement that was like super cool because you would actually have to be with a developer who was playing or making the game during the time and was just on a random server. And then you get the achievement out of it. That's really cool. Same thing with like Halo 3 and Reach cosmetics. I mean, you would have to do challenges in order for that to come up. And then you get these really cool skins. And the rare one with like the flame skull on top of the helmet. Oh, dude, it was super cool. But that's the issue, is that I think people don't realize that people want challenges that are thought-provoking and not slapped up in your face and be like, hey, just do this and call it there. I feel like game devs, I'm not saying that they're getting lazier with challenges, but I feel like if they just went back to the old age of challenges and being able to do stuff like that, it might be better for the retention rate that they're working for, instead of just slapping in battle passes or season drops, you know, like Battlefield. Why the fuck do you have seasons? I don't want live service seasons with Battlefield. I want $10 DLC packs that include a bunch of fucking maps and new stuff that I could get. And then maybe if you do a big update with weapons that are free, sure, then yeah, that's fine. I'm willing to pay the $10 fucking for quality content of DLC packs and map packs, rather than just waiting for really slow dripping drops of free battle passes or free maps. Like, I'd much rather pay for quality than to get something for free that's shitty. But maybe I'm thinking a little bit more like emotional there, because logically, if you get something for free, I mean, who doesn't like a free lunch? But nothing is a free lunch. Let's just keep that there. I think my biggest frustration is just all of that combining together, and being a content creator who's trying to become a content creator that's focused on maybe stuff that I enjoy personally. It's difficult to do so. It really is, because the uniqueness of people has become normal, and now people have to become more unique and more crazy to become those content creators that stand out the most. And I think that's the biggest struggle, is that the normalcy of uniqueness has dumbed everything down to the last single thing. I remember when I used to enjoy games and content on YouTube because people were just having a blast, having a good time, maybe talking about stuff that they're entertained by, or maybe something that's a little bit more interesting, instead of just being, oh, you know, let's copy this other content creator and call it a day. Now, I see this more times than I see actual unique content creators. There are unique content creators out there. They're just kind of shuffled underneath all of YouTube's bullshit and crap. I will admit that. And I think that YouTube has evolved greatly, but also has evolved drastically too. Like, it's like taking one step forward, 3 steps back, and then there's moments where they take 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and then they take 3 steps forward and 1 step back, and then they take 5 steps back and never take a step forward. It's very roller coaster-like, you know, it's just really, really annoying. Now, of course, I think with this conversation that I'm having with you guys, I want to let you know that I am thinking with my emotions more than my logical side of things. Obviously, if I looked at it from a logical standpoint, there would probably be some different points I can bring up. But right now, I'm just frustrated. I'm just really frustrated with the way content creation has become the way that gaming has become, and the mixture of the two, and me trying to be a content creator, and especially with stresses outside of YouTube and gaming, have not been very helpful. Now, I'm just kind of throwing this out here. I want to make more videos that I want to make, but the issue is that with this channel, it's really focused on extraction shooters, right? I mean, everyone has subscribed to my channel for the sole purpose of it being an extraction shooter, or maybe it was something related to VR content creation. And I've grown my channel to become successful in some form or manner, almost hitting 2K subscribers, which is really awesome. It's getting there. I'm hoping that I hit that by the end of this year. But the biggest thing I face is that creative block. That creative writing block, if you will. I just find it hard to make my dream come true, to become a content creator that's fun and exciting to watch when I can barely keep up with the content creators around me. I try to do it at my own pace. I try to make quality videos, but every time I try to make a quote-unquote quality video, it's not really gone well. But whenever I make a video every week or two every 1 week, it's gotten more views. And I feel like that's the sad thing. And I think that's the hardest and weirdest thing too, is that when you don't try, then it becomes popular. I find that to be an interesting psychological thing, because if you tried hard enough, and usually people tell you to practice and try hard enough, you'll see the rewards at the end of the day. But on social media, it's like the polar opposite. Someone could be eating a fucking hot dog with a shit ton of mayonnaise on it, and they probably earned like 2 million views, while someone who makes something creatively and fun and exciting would probably get like 5 to 6 views. It's frustrating. And I feel like I'm not at that level of quality. Don't get me wrong. This channel has not been really at its peak. I think my peak was when I was playing VR games, both Meta and Quest 3 and all that software bullshit is terrible. It's not really a way for me to make videos on the games I want to try out on VR because Meta sucks. I'm waiting for the Steam Frame to come out, see if I can get that, and then try to make more VR games in that realm, but I digress. I just think that my success, or the trying to become successful, is difficult, because if someone doesn't try, they win. But when you try, you lose. And I don't know if maybe that's just based off of the streamer culture as well, because there's a lot of streamers out there who have bought subscribers or who have bought followers and bought viewers so that they can become popular on the platform. It's becoming more apparent every single day, and people are not giving a fuck about it, to be honest with you. A lot of people do not care about it. But the point I'm trying to make here is that when it comes down to content creation, I'm not going anywhere, but I am still on a hiatus. Maybe another week or so to relax a bit, to kind of think things through, and to understand what my goal is to be on this platform for. Then I can start making videos, but I don't know if it's going to be easy for me to figure that out. At the end of the day, I am going to try my best. I always will try my best. My family, my friends have always told me to give it my all, and something will happen, whether it be good or maybe even mediocre, but something will happen if you tried hard enough. And I'm hoping that it's not mediocre. I'm hoping that I can find my footing back again into making content, into making videos I want to enjoy, and to enjoy the process of. But the sad thing is that this channel might turn into a business one day. And that's when I think creatively, for me, it might die down. Or if I do make a business and I'm still creative, then I'm one real lucky person. But until then, I'm just hoping that everything works out in the end, and I'm hoping that I do the best I can. Well, that's it for me, everyone. Thank you for listening to my rant. I know there's a different video than I normally would make, but honestly, I just needed to get this out of my system. I've been trying to make a video like this for like the past 6 weeks, especially during my time of recovery. But the difficulty of it was that I always felt frustrated that people didn't want to watch this video. But at this point, I just don't give a fuck anymore. I just don't need to care about that. What I need to care about is videos I want to make, videos I want to enjoy. And if people come on with me with the personality that I have, then that's going to be awesome. I'm hoping that my personality changes also to not really suit the need of the channel per se, but to make a quote-unquote like facade, if you will. You know, I want to not over exaggerate on myself per se, but I want to be more joking instead of being as critical as I used to be. You know, I want to be having more fun and excitement, because this channel has really been about criticizing games and more focus on the hardship of these games. But there are moments where I think to myself that not everything needs to be criticized. Sure, there might be some downsides to certain things, but sometimes you have to think to yourself that if people already know it, why try to beat a dead horse? But that's it for me, everyone. Hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll check you guys whenever next week or the week after. I'm hoping it's hopefully just next week, but we'll have to see. Deuces. Take care, everyone.